Have you ever really stopped to wonder how a honeybee actually works? I mean, it's not just another insect buzzing around. It's a tiny, flying masterpiece of natural engineering. Today, we're going to take a guided tour of this incredible machine, from its supersensory head to its multi-tool abdomen, and really uncover the secrets packed inside. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the bee's basic blueprint, the big picture. Then we'll zoom right in on the three key sections: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, before we put it all together and see how it creates this perfect little super sensor. To really understand the genius of the honeybee, we've got to start with its fundamental design. Every single complex tool and sensor it has is built on this really simple three-part framework. The bee's master plan is actually beautiful in its simplicity. It's just a three-part structure. You've got the head, the thorax in the middle, and the abdomen at the back. Every single specialized part we're about to talk about fits perfectly into one of these three core segments. Now, let's zoom in on the head. And trust me, this isn't just a head. It's the bee's command center, and it is packed with some of the most incredible sensory technology in the entire animal kingdom. So what does this number represent? It's not a trick question, I promise. It's the number of eyes a honeybee has. That's right, not 2, but 5. And these 5 eyes aren't all doing the same job. They actually work as 2 totally distinct systems. The 2 big compound eyes on the sides create this sort of pixelated image, which is perfect for seeing shapes and using polarized light to navigate. Then you've got the 3 simple eyes on top, the ocelli, which act more like light sensors, helping the bee get its bearings from the sun. The antennae are like a sensory Swiss Army knife. With 170 odor receptors. Their sense of smell is just astonishing. But they also taste, they touch, and they even hear by feeling the air vibrations from other bees' dances. On top of all that, they're monitoring temperature and humidity. They are absolutely critical for pretty much everything a bee does. And this quote really puts it all into perspective. It says, strip away the antenna and you don't have a bee anymore. You have a blind, deaf, disoriented insect. They are quite literally the bee's entire interface with its world. And the bee's mouth parts are just as specialized. The key tool here is the proboscis. It's basically this extendable, straw-like tongue that's perfectly evolved to reach deep into flowers for nectar. And the coolest part, when it's not in use, it just folds up neatly right under its head. Okay, let's move on to the bee's midsection. We're talking about the thorax now. And this is all about power and getting around. This is the engine room that drives the bee's flight and, of course, holds its specialized legs. 230. What could that be? Well, that's the number of times a honeybee can beat its wings every single second. That incredible speed, which is what creates their famous buzz, is all powered by massive flight muscles packed right inside the thorax. So how does such a tiny insect generate so much lift? Well, part of the secret is this really clever locking mechanism. See, a bee actually has 4 wings, but these tiny little hooks called hamuli latch the front and back wings together. This turns them into 2 big, powerful surfaces, making them unbelievably strong and efficient flyers. Now, a bee's 6 legs are so much more than just for walking. They're a whole specialized toolkit for packing pollen. So first, the pollen sticks all over its fuzzy body. Then, using these special little combs on its legs, the bee brushes it all downwards and packs it into this little dent on its hind legs called the corbicula. Finally, it adds a dab of nectar to make the whole bundle sticky for the flight home. All right, finally, let's check out the abdomen. This rear section is home to some of the bee's most vital organs and its most famous tools. It's really responsible for production, defense, and transport. Not all stingers are created equal. A worker bee stinger is barbed, which means it gets stuck in a predator's skin and tears away. But a queen stinger, it's smooth, which lets her sting her rivals over and over. And the male bees, the drones, they don't even have one. This is just a brilliant adaptation for an animal that transports liquid food. The honey stomach, or the crop, is basically a separate nectar tanker. It completely bypasses the bee's real digestive stomach. This keeps all that precious cargo pure and undigested until it can be delivered back at the hive. 1,000. That is the mind-boggling number of tiny individual wax scales made from glands right on a worker's abdomen that are needed to create a single gram of beeswax. That is an incredible amount of work. So let's put all the pieces together. We've seen all these amazing individual parts, but the real magic is how they combine to create one of nature's most efficient and incredible creatures.
When you look at the bee as a complete system, you see this perfect harmony. The head is the sensor suite, the thorax is the engine, and the abdomen is the workshop and the cargo hold. Every single part is highly specialized, and together they create this perfectly adapted organism, which allows the whole colony to function as one true superorganism.